Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing something a little bit different. I haven't done a video like this before. It's definitely not an original idea, but since I had the materials to do it, I thought I would do that this week. And today I am comparing the Urban Decay Naked Heats palette with a fake one that I bought on eBay a couple of years ago. When I bought this, because I really wanted the real one but couldn't afford it, I bought a fake one off of eBay and I actually used it quite a lot, which is obviously why I'm doing this video today, because I know that although the ingredients are probably a little bit dodgy, I didn't have any allergic reaction when I used it a couple of years ago. So today I am comparing that one to the real one. I think I bought the fake one for about £9, but the real one is 40. So obviously there is quite a big price difference, but I just wanted to find out how different they really are. Like, is the £40 one worth £40 and is the £9 one worth £9? Of course, I wouldn't recommend buying a fake palette on eBay just because, like I said, ingredients are dodgy. They don't always say what they use on the packaging. Like, sometimes they'll just put the exact same ingredients from the original product on the fake packaging, so obviously wouldn't recommend buying a fake one. But if you want to find out how they performed and which side is which, then carry on watching. So I have zoomed in so we can obviously see what I'm doing on my eyelids, and I think I'm going to do the fake one on this side and then the real one on the other side. And I'm going to try, well, obviously I'm going to use the exact same colours for each look. So here's the comparison side by side from a distance. I would have probably inserted a close-up earlier on in the video, but they're relatively similar, but as you can see there are quite a few differences there, and you can obviously tell that the real one is a lot more better quality, surprisingly. So I'm probably going to do a similar look to what I did in my autumn makeup video that I will link up there in case you wanted to check it out. So the packaging for this one is really flimsy, as you'd expect, and obviously looks nothing like the original. But I'm just going to take the fake one and go in with the darker shade as I normally do. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush and go into the outer crease of my eye with this dark brown shade here, because normally like darker shades can be quite patchy, especially if it's from a cheap palette. So I'm going to start with that. Obviously I wouldn't recommend using a fake palette on your eyes, but when I was younger I bought this one off of eBay and didn't really understand like bad products and like what could be in them and bad, like having a reaction or whatever. So I had been using this one for quite a while before I got the original, so I know that I'm not going to have a bad reaction to this, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else because obviously everybody has different skin types, different allergies, so I wouldn't normally be putting this on my face if I hadn't already like blindly used it before. So that shade is quite patchy but still very pigmented, but there is also already quite a lot of fallout on my eye there. So already not the best start, but it is pigmented, so that's a plus at least. So I'm just going to clean this brush off and then go in on the other side with the same colour in the real palette. So I can already tell obviously that the real palette is a lot better quality. It's obviously blended nicer, there's no fallout at all. It is a bit less pigmented, but I think that's a good thing because there's just like, it's not very blendable on the fake side. There's quite a harsh line there kind of where I put it on my face, whereas this one's kind of blended out quite nicely. So this also shows like the quality in eyeshadow palettes does actually matter, because sometimes when you're buying fake palettes and you think, well, the colour comes out on my face, so you know, price and quality, it doesn't matter too much, but then when you compare them side by side like this, I feel like the quality really does matter when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, especially in this case. So in the fake palette, I'm then just going to take this shade here, which in the real palette is called He Devil, so I'm just going to pop that in like the inner crease of my eye. Okay, so that did work kind of well, but it is a very similar colour to obviously the first one I put on, and I don't know, I just think it looked quite muddy, it's still a bit patchy. It did blend better than the darker shade, I think, but I don't know, I'm not really loving this palette, obviously, because I think it was like £10. But it's not horrible, I don't think. But then again, I'm not 100% sure on the ingredients, so that's not good. And then, of course, I'm taking the Real palette with the same colour and then putting that in the same place on my other eye. So that went on really easily, it blended nicely, although they are still very similar colours, I think, but then that is just like the colour of the palette, I guess. The fake one is a lot more warm toned than the real one, I think, in my opinion. But at the minute, both sides of my eyes are just thinking brown, so that is... I've kind of gone for a bit of a boring look, I think. So just to add a bit more room for more colours, I am just going to cut my crease off camera, and then I'll be back to add a few shimmer shades from both palettes onto my eyes. So I've cut my crease. I feel like that eye always goes a bit better than that eye. I think that one is actually quite neat for me. But I'm just going to go into... Well, the shimmers in the fake palette look very kind of disappointing, a little bit underwhelming. So I'm going to take this one here, if you can see, that one there. I'm going to put that nearer the corner of my eye, and then I think I'm going to like smoke it out with the darker shimmer there, and then obviously do the same with the Real palette on my other eye. And I'm just going to use a flat brush to do this, just so I can get in the corner a little bit easier. So that went on okay, but again, there's still a lot of fallout. Like, I've got a little pile here on my face, and the shade isn't really that shimmery. I don't know if you can see from there, but it's a pretty shade, but not particularly shimmery. And then I think I'll use the other side of the flat brush to go into the darker shimmer shade there. That shade looks a little bit more shimmery, but it's also not as dark as it looks in the pan, which is weird. It looks almost identical to the colour I put nearer the corner, which is in the pan a whole lot lighter than the one I just used. And then I'm going to do the same on the other eye. These shimmer shades actually look quite a lot different to the fake palette, so I used that one and that one in the fake one, so I'm going to do that again on this eye. So the shimmer shades are obviously a lot more impressive on that eye, but at the minute I think that eye looks a little bit better just because my cut crease kind of just like disappeared for some reason. But I don't know, I prefer the shade of that one in the middle, like it is quite light and pinky, whereas that one is more kind of like browny and a little bit more like muted. In fairness, they do look quite similar. I just wish that other one was just a bit lighter. But I am going to blend that together again with the darker shade that I used first from both palettes. So those are the looks complete. I don't know which I prefer actually. Obviously, I would rather use the real one than the fake one because, again, I'm not 100% sure on the ingredients of the fake one. Actually, let me just see if the box has anything on. So there are ingredients, but I don't know if they're identical to the... Oh, I don't have the box for the real one, so I can't even tell if they're like the actual ingredients or not. But again, if you buy fake makeup on eBay, you can't really trust like what it says the ingredients are, because a lot of the time they just like copy whatever's on the original box, so it might not even have the real ingredients on there. The biggest differences I think for me is that brown from the fake palette is a lot more pigmented, which I do actually prefer, but it is patchy and there's a lot of fallout, so I wouldn't choose to wear it on like a normal day-to-day basis. And the shimmer shade from the fake palette is a lot lighter than the real one, I think. So those are the main differences, I think. I will just quickly do a close-up before I add liner and lashes. So this side, if the camera's focused, is the real side, and then this side is the fake side. So this is the finished look. On closer inspection, I do definitely prefer the real side, just because the fake side is very patchy, And without sounding dramatic, I can like feel it on my eyelid, like it doesn't hurt, but it's like a little bit tingly, so I'm obviously going to wash that off immediately after I finish filming this video. But I think they are quite similar, but I definitely would not recommend a fake palette, because again, the ingredients, there's probably some really bad stuff that I should not be putting in my eye in here, but I had already, like I said, used the palette before, so I mean, it's fine. I'm not having an allergic reaction, I hope, because I never had done before. But they do still look quite similar. Obviously, the quality of the shimmers are much better in the real palette because you kind of do get what you pay for. If you only pay £10 for like a fake high-end palette, you're just gonna get like what £10 is gonna get you, if that makes any sense. But it got me a patchy, tingly eye, so would not recommend. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know which side you prefer the look of. Is it the real side or the fake side? And if you did enjoy this video, then please feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!